Let me introduce you to Dmitry Falaleev, the editor of Firma.en, which is a new Russian technology magazine, written only in Russian, founded 3 months ago. Joining him for the IT Parks panel is Katia Gaika, Deputy Director at Skolkovo, Ramil Ibragimov, Deputy Director at IT Park.
Набережные Челны.
I thought I would mess that up. And Victor Galasyuk, Vice President at Bionic Hill. Please welcome them all to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So let me introduce our panelists. First, I would like to present Victor Galasyuk, Vice President at Bionic Hill. Victor is here. The second is Ramil Ibragimov, CEO at IT Park Nabережные Челны. And last is Katia Gaika, Deputy Director at Skolkovo. So my first question is, so let's start with definition. For me, it's not clear what is IT Parks for you. Is it? So let's start with definition. Katia, what is IT Park for you? What is the main function? How do you describe it?
It's a good question because we, as a Skolkovo, we're not purely IT Park. So we're not only IT Park, right? So for me, it's hard to say, to answer from the position of the Skolkovo. So I think it would be easier for Ramil to answer it.
Okay, I have a short presentation. We want to make an introductory presentation of IT Park to explain you what the IT Park is.
I hope it's not so long. Yeah.
I need the clicker. So, my name is Ramil Ibragimov. I am the CEO of IT Park in Nabережные Челны. So, IT Park was developed as a part of federal governmental program oriented on establishing technoparks in the area of high technology in Russian Federation. The construction started on 25th of July 2011. The whole complex, which consists of the main 9-story building and 2 3-story adjoining buildings, was opened on 25th of August 2012, less than 2 months ago. So it took only 1 year and 1 month to elaborate the master plan and to construct. IT Park in Nabережные Челны is the second part of the Kazan City IT Park, which is considered to be the best Russian technopark according to the ranking made by Russian Ministry of Communications and Mass Communications, which is in charge of the before-mentioned governmental program. For those who don't know, Kazan is the capital of Tatarstan Republic, one of the most prosperous regions of Russia. Kazan and Nabережные Челны are located in 1,000 kilometers from Moscow in 1.5 hours flight distance. So the same distance and the same flight time like from Moscow to Kiev. We oriented on SMEs focused on ICT market. Our purpose is to enforce vast growth of local SMEs as the leaders of Russian or probably global ICT market in the near future. At IT Park, all your business and employee needs are taken care of. These include 12,000 square meters and open plan of office premises good to be rented out, ideal for software development and IT-related companies. To ensure the business continuity from the first day of tenant's operation, IT Park is equipped with different amenities, with wide range of different amenities and facilities such as bank office, post office, mail and messenger service, cafe, cafeteria, restaurant, press center, conference hall, meeting rooms, server room, data center, gym, the hotel, an ample parking for cars and bicycles, etc. Activities are organized through the year to encourage the sense of community and belonging for 52 tenants who pride in IT Park as their business address. From the very beginning, we had created an IT ecosystem which includes IT school, IT university, business incubator, and IT Park itself. Business Incubator provides 2,000 square meters and open plan of office premises where every prospective team can enjoy hassle-free setup. Simply plug and play any complete office space. Business Incubator is an ideal incubation facility for those companies who are looking forward to set up their base in IT Park. Each prospective team get complex support in project management, marketing, bookkeeping, legal backing, help in getting private and governmental funding, involvement in very complicated educational program, etc. Business Incubator provides 40 cabins for 40 startups, each equipped with 6 workstations. In Tatarstan, every prospective team can enjoy, can raise governmental funding provided by Tatarstan Investment Development Agency and Tatarstan Investment and Venture Fund from 20 to 200 kilos American dollars per each startup. This year, 22 our startups raised the before-mentioned governmental funding. Now 22 our startups of our business incubator represent 10 Russian regions, including Moscow. Why we are interested in Central and Eastern Europe? Technoparks, IT parks in Nabережные Челны and in Kazan are only the first steps leading for the most prospective project in Tatarstan Republic for the next 10 years, named Innopolis Kazan. The first city to be built in Russia after the ruin of the Soviet Union. The last city which was built in Soviet Union was Набережные Челны 40 years ago. Innopolis Kazan is designed with urban modern infrastructure to support the population of 155,000 people, the core of which 60,000 will be the IT specialists. The master plan was made by Singaporean RSP architects. The purpose is to create the environment where the IT companies will thrive and prosper, to rise up the ICT the ICT sector share of Tatarstan's gross domestic product from currently 3.5% to at least 7% on par with other BRIC countries. The new city will be located in the 35 kilometers from Kazan to the west side at a place with a very beautiful nature. The first facility to be built, Technopark, which will provide 200,000 square meters of office premises, including business incubator for 200 startups. It's planned that it will be opened on 2014. I think that's all for an entrance. So Innopolis Kazan is an audacious Tatarstan's bid to become the leading IT hub of Russia. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, looks great and great pitch. Thank you very much. I have some questions, but I would like to present first of all Katia's presentation. So, Katia, it's your time.
I guess, okay, this is better. So I guess we're going to be showing the difference between Skolkovo and Kazan. And as I said, we are not just a technopark. Therefore, is it working, the thing?
Press harder.
Ah, I should be telling you, right?
Yeah, it's managed itself.
Can
It's IT.
Ah, this one. Okay. So, I would like to start and explain what is Skolkovo. For those of you, actually, let's do the experiment. Raise up the hands who didn't hear about Skolkovo before. Oh, okay, so we have one hand. And, okay, 2 hands, 3 hands. Okay, now raise up the hands who heard about Skolkovo. Ah, lovely. So I'm talking to some people, okay, have 2 hands up. So I don't have opportunity to ask you, sir, what do you think about Skolkovo, what you heard about us. But I'll tell in a few words. So we're not just a technopark or an Innopolis. We're an innovation center. So we basically a different type of animal. We have technopark, university, a place for people to live, and etc. So here you can see in the picture what was in Skolkovo 2 years ago. Yeah, and as you can see, it was just a green field. We often talk about greenfield, but Skolkovo is a startup in the purest form, only 2 years old now. And if we can move on, yeah. And this is what was happening, what is in September 2012, so 2 years from the beginning. And in the beginning, we only had a President Medvedev signing up a law and saying, like, let here be the future Inograd. And now we have a first building erected. And as you can see, a few days ago, we had a meeting you see it's pretty bad quality of a picture, but you can see Mr. Vekselberg and Mr. Medvedev opening up the first building of Skolkovo. And we have our first startups moving in, and as you can see, probably people started already working. And so what we are planning to do. So talking about Technopark, it's going to be one of the first buildings erected in a couple of years. So it's going to be a huge enterprise, about 1,000 square meters big, and it's going to have a lot of facilities, but it's all in the future. So talking about future, I'm just going to show you a few pictures of how it's going to look like. It's planned that Skolkovo is going to be containing about 40,000 people who can be working there simultaneously. And it's a big number, relatively speaking. I think we're going to have about 1,000 startups, about 40 big technological companies like Microsoft, Intel, and Cisco already planning to have offices there. So it's going to be a real big city. And this is the later phase of the development of Skolkovo is going to be finished around 2017 and 2020. Therefore, we are planning a lot of things, and some of which are yet to be funded, but most of them more or less going to be erected. So you can see it's going to be Technopark, university, a few buildings for people to live in, and if we can move on, this is the view from the top, and yeah, and it's probably a bad picture. This is how it's going to look from above the space. And talking about Skolkovo again, what is the main differences between just pure IT park and innovation center? So we're planning that we're often being compared to Silicon Valley, and Silicon Valley is. Some people think that it's a natural development, right? So first there was Stanford, Berkeley, and then students started working together, coming up with ideas, developing them. But there is also another notion saying that Silicon Valley happened not only because there were universities, but also because there was big support of the government. And there was a lot of programs, government programs, that funded those research of those students. So therefore, Skolkovo now gives away, we do have a lot of initiatives. So we not only provide the real estate for the startups to work and play and develop their ideas, but also we provide marketing, legal, and financial support. And so we function in a way like a venture fund. So we accelerate, incubate, and commercialize the projects, because we understand that being a part of an ecosystem, actually the platform to the ecosystem to flourish, we have to think about not only real estate, but all other functions that has to be. So, so if moderator will, let us talk further on, I can say that we have a lot of similar stories in Russia. So Dubna and Novosibirsky Akademgorodok, one of the success stories of the past, and we are learning from our predecessors, and we understand that we do have to have a place, not only a physical place where people can get together and work together, but also it should be a lot of initiatives. And understanding that we have a lot of tax reductions, and if you didn't hear what is the main attraction. So if you ask me why you should come to Skolkovo, I'll say you shouldn't. Yeah? But you can consider a few facts. That for 10 years we give tax holidays. Basically what it means, that for 10 years you don't pay profit tax or VAT tax. Or, for instance, if your main expense is the salaries of the workers, and in most of the cases it is, we give 20% off of all the taxes related to that. So I believe that some things besides the grants that we give away, those like hidden financial rewards are also important. So I'll let now. I'm actually really interested about this new initiative of the Ukraine government. So I believe Victor, yes, will talk a bit. So, and I wonder if we have any similarities. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And the last but not least is Victor. I have some questions to Katia too.
Thank you.
Fields look great, really.
Dear colleagues, I'm glad to introduce you our new project, Bionic Hill Innovation Park. The project was launched as a private business initiative. Yeah, please.
Just a second.
Oh, okay, okay. However, shortly after it gained the support of several central governmental agencies and Kyiv City State Administration. And the corresponding MOUs have been signed with these agencies and city, and Bionic Hill has been included in the Technopolis National Project Program, which was initiated by the Presidential Directive on March 22, 2012. Okay.
You should to describe it by words only.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's not difficult. I can. Oh, next slide, please.
I was kidding.
Yeah, next one, please. Yeah. Oh, previous one, Igor, please. Yeah. The project's mission is to create a solid international platform for high-tech and intellectual business in Ukraine. Our industrial focus is primarily ICT, pharmaceuticals and biotech, and also energy saving and clean energy solutions. We have chosen specifically these industries because of their strong international demand and because of availability of appropriate resources for their development in Ukraine. I mean, first of all, I mean our human capital. Yeah, thank you. The project is aimed at a wide range of tenant companies, from startups and spin-offs to mature high-tech companies. We also plan to comprise the whole range of activities, from research and development activities to services and intangible production, and also to material production. We also plan to attract intellectually intense business, which are not purely high-tech, but whose presence will encourage creation of an ecosystem. I talk about such companies as, for example, engineering companies, architect companies, media companies, and other companies which are not pure high-tech, but who are very important for the ecosystem. Therefore, Bionic Hill project will... Oh, previous one, please. Yeah. Thus, Bionic Hill will concurrently serve as an innovation center, a technopark, or even business park for high-tech and intellectual companies, and also like a production platform. The main idea of the project is to ensure sustainable, nourishing environment for resident companies. And we plan to combine such factors as affordable real estate, appropriate set of services, partnership with best companies in the appropriate fields. I mean, creation of kind of community, kind of ecosystem which will act for our resident companies as a resource center. I mean, educational services, financing, and other kinds of special services. And also, we would like to use a special tax regime which already in place in Ukraine, and we hope that it will develop and become even more strong. The implementation of our project concept, live, work, learn, and play, actually means creation of a small city. And what is very important, that talented people will not have to compromise between work, interesting and with good salaries, comfortable living, and proper education for their children and themselves. So we want to combine all these factors to create a real useful projects for all the parties. The Innovation Park enjoys a prime location. It is only 70 kilometers from the center of Kyiv and only 20 kilometers from International Airport Kyiv-Zhuliany. Thus, it takes up to 20 minutes to get there from the center of Kyiv in the morning and to get back in the evening. Given the fact that it is rather a large-scale project, its construction is planned to be realized in 3 phases and completed in 2020. The first phase of construction is to commence in 2014. We have already developed a master plan for the innovation park, and now we're adjusting it in order to get in line with needs of our potential clients and with recommendations of leading architects. We are not only developing a physical bionic hill, whose construction will be partially completed as soon as 2014, but at the same time, we are developing the virtual bionic, namely its educational component, Bionic University. We have established Bionic University together with the oldest university of Ukraine, Kyiv-Mohyla Academy, and leading IT companies of Ukraine. It is a progressive educational initiative which is a backbone of Bionic Hill Innovation Park. And the main purpose of this sub-project is to produce engineers for Bionic Hill client companies and to facilitate development of technical entrepreneurship in Ukraine. Our project vision is to create value for all the stakeholders because we understand that is the only way to succeed when dealing with such a large-scale and complex project. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We've got 3 great pitches. It looks and really great, but I have some not very pleasant questions, sorry. First of all, I think the main topic of this panel is great from Lady. What should we play to real startups? So why real startups should apply to your programs?
Well, as I said before, they shouldn't, but they can consider, right? So it depends. If they want to be in Silicon Valley, of course, I understand their reasoning, right? First of all, climate. Probably climate is the only thing that we cannot change in Russia, well, in Moscow. But we're working on that. We're actually, one of the projects in Skolkovo is to build a dome. So one of the world famous architects, Kazuo Sejima, she came up, because she came once in winter, she realized how miserable it is there. And she came up with a project that's called Dome. So she's planning to build the glass structure that's going to cover about 100 square hectares. And that glass structure going to be saving the sun from summer and then releasing it during the winter. So it's going to be overall plus 10 centigrades all year round. So this is how we overcome the main problem, I believe, that we have in Russia, the climate. Everything else, I think, is perfect. 300, 400 square hectares of wonderful place with the fantastic architecture, with 10-year tax vacation, with the best people working and studying in the best university that we're going to build in a couple of years. I think it's pretty attractive situation. I mean, unless people just have some, I don't know, adversity towards working and living in their country or region, for instance.
Okay. Do you have something to add, guys?
Yeah, you know, as I said before, our startups represent 10 Russian regions, including Moscow. So most of them were the participants of the special ID Parks project, this Startup 72 expedition.
Good placement.
So we moved within 1.5 months across the Volga region around the 13 cities, organizing today events, looking for the most prospective startups. The best teams were invited to Nabережные Челны to take part in 5 days very complicated special educational program with the final investor demo day in Kazan. You know, everywhere, at every Volga city, we met dozens of smart guys who were interested in startups. And all of them wanted to become the part of the startup community, but they even don't have any communities, their local communities at all, because there were no any ID parks there, no business incubators, no the leaders of this process. They don't work fittingly. You know, for most, IT Park is not the building. IT Park is the community of smart go-getter guys who pride in IT Park as their business address. And thirdly, IT Park is not their place to work only. IT Park Kazan IT Park, Chelny IT Park is really their lifestyle, really, you know.
No, I agree with you, exactly. That's why we're not only going to develop an office space, but also a place for people to live, university to study, cafes to hang out, and gyms to stay in shape. But also, I have to admit that Russia, Moscow region is very spoiled with all the opportunities that exist. And this is good that we have more places for talented people to get together and work together. But still, I believe we have a lot of potential, because now in Skolkovo we have about 500 startups that joined the program. And we have much more applications still going in the pipeline. But I do believe that since last 2 years showed that the number of companies that are willing to do something, that are willing to develop new products, the number is growing. And I believe that the more technoparks or places for people to get together and work together, the better. So, and since even represented here, Ukraine started to think about developing a new place. I believe we all have our share of.
So we have direct target plan. So we enforce startups to become large-scale companies to make them the Innopolis tenants in the near future. It's the launch pad for the Innopolis. The roadmap is set up in business incubator, support and investments, growing up, becoming full IT park tenant, transferred to Innopolis. As I said before, the first technopark in Innopolis will be opened in 2014. We have any doubt that Innopolis Kazan will be successful. Firstly, we have no doubt that all works will finish in a due time. The technopark in Kazan we built in 2 years. It was the first Russian technopark. We opened it on 23rd of October 2009. So the most of our tenants there were focused on the most complicated federal governmental program, e-government, turning governmental services into electronic form. Now Tatarstan is is the leader and an official leader of this process in Russia. Several of our solutions are now used in all Russian regions. We have a great success story, Bars Group, the regional IT company with 500 specialists and 1 billion rubles revenue. In Nabizhny Chelny, one of our tenants, Sprut Technology, they develop the great, very complicated, honorable software for computer-aided manufacturing and product. Sprut.com now ranks among top 5 CAM products all over the world. They sell their products to more than 40 countries. Their main customers are in the United States, United Kingdom, Italy, France, Germany, so on. So a lot of success stories.
Let me start bragging as well. Can I?
I see you work hard. Everything is okay with your leg? Yeah?
What?
I see you work hard. Everything okay with
road
your leg?
accident.
Yeah.
Okay. Road accident, And
he was fighting for his startups, I believe.
Okay.
30 minutes ago, one of our startups, which we find the startups on TUI, signed a term sheet.
Placement. Okay.
Yes, signed a term sheet with one of the venture funds. So the first real result of our participation in IDCEE. So the amount, the seed investments, is about $700,000 American.
So okay, let me
add.
Yes.
What we are doing? What we are doing, we are concentrating all the existing advantages in Ukraine to localize them in our park. I talk about such advantages as talented engineers, and not only IT engineers. And we adding up an additional layers such as special education for these engineers, and special education and maybe even training for entrepreneurs. And also we combining it with new legislative conditions, because it's also very important, maybe not for startups, but for more mature companies. And very good location. We are in the heart of Europe, and it's also important. So we are going to combine all the existing advantages and to create new one. For example, now we in talks with Mr. Galitsky and Mr. Belousov about creating a special grant system for startups, and I think that it will work. Yeah, and so our residents will receive real estate at affordable price, the proper services according to their activity type. Yeah, because mature companies, they don't need a wide range of services, but startups do need them, and special atmosphere of communication, and they need to stay connected, yes, with their partners in Silicon Valley, in Skolkovo, in Kazan. So we just creating a concentration hub, like a concentration hub for talents, for bold ideas, and that's why we are going to attract investors to our park.
Okay, sounds great. We have one short question before my question, please. Okay.
Hi, my name is Vasily Martinchenko. I represent CFC Consulting, and my question is the following. As somebody who reads international political economy, I have taken a keen interest into the competitiveness of various countries and regions. It is quite known that US is much more competitive than Europe, and when some economists just looked at that and tried to find out the reasons for that, they've learned that innovation in IT industry overall is actually not stimulated, but because of that, it's more competitive. So Europe decided to catch up with the US, and they've decided that they can stimulate the competitiveness and innovation and technology development, et cetera, from state point of the government, basically top-down approach, and it doesn't work. So here in Russia and Ukraine, I see a typical sort of European, so to say, if we can call it European, of course, approach to stimulating innovation in IT. And it has failed in many countries, if you don't know about that. Especially in Russia, as I can see, and the same in Ukraine, because Bionic Hill, to me, it looks like, though there is some private money involved, however, your, let's say, infatuation with the government support is a little bit tricky, because it can actually have a reverse effect on the result you want to achieve. I mean, this is my perspective. So the question is, I think you got the question.
Let me start, yeah, because as I mentioned in the beginning, even Silicon Valley in the 60s, or even before that, being supported by a government fund. So in the beginning, Silicon Valley was a government project. So they were built, so most of the investment to infrastructure, into the fundamental research, been done by a government. And this is, we don't have any illusions in terms of how much of government support should be in IT industry. But we believe for the beginning, for creation of the infrastructure, it's instrumental that government do invest time, money, effort, etc. But we're only going to be supported for the next couple of years. And then we believe that ecosystem will have a momentum, because it's already having, like, we have a lot of deals going on now. We have a lot of companies that are growing. So we're supporting research and development. The important notion of Skolkovo is that we're not supporting the commercially viable projects. We do support projects that has a big component of research and development. So we help companies that do need our help.
Okay, but IT Park is aimed on business for most. Only business. So we have created an IT ecosystem which includes IT School, IT University, Business Incubator, and IT Park. So IT School is the special educational project which we launched on the basis of the 3 best local secondary schools. The purpose is to identify young IT talents and to inspire them to become IT entrepreneurs as early as they can. High School of Information Technologies and Information Systems, named now IT University. So the future IT University is one of the youngest departments of the Kazan-Volga Federal University, which joined its efforts with IT Park and its major tenants, as well as well-known brands as Microsoft, HP, Cisco, Oracle, and IBM to create innovative premium IT department. You know, the teaching is provided by university professors, experienced developers from IT Park's tenants, as well as the best professors all over the world from Carnegie Mellon University, for example. So the emphasis is made on applied disciplines, involvement of the students into the real work from the early stages of education, and an ongoing practice at the leading regional IT companies. In Chelny, we provide grants for the most prospective students who had shown the best entrance results. You know, pupils and students can launch their startups in the business incubator. We feel great, tremendous support by our Tatarstan's president. We are very happy with our Tatarstan's president, Rustam Minnikhanov, who pays careful attention to our project. We had created an IT ecosystem, and the godfather of the Tatarstan's IT ecosystem, Nikolai Nikiforov, 29 years old, became the head of Russian Federal Ministry, 29 years old, of communications and mass communications. We have dozens smart guys in Russia. So obviously, we have no any doubt that our future project in Panelists Kazan will be successful.
Yeah.
Nothing to add, right?
Just do it. We are a private project. The only support we have from the government currently is creation of external transport and engineering system, yeah, and special tax regime which works extraterritorially for all the Ukraine. So there is not such strong government support, and we think that it is our advantage that we are a private project, because we have to be very agile and we have to be very market oriented, and we use this approach in all our sub-projects, because, for example, our Bionic University is also our private initiative, and we are extremely market oriented. But if you ask the role of government in any country in creation of ecosystem, it is should not be undervalued, because it's very important to create special tax regime if we cannot change overall system. For example, if we the less developed the overall institutional environment, the higher the role of IT parks and high-tech parks in innovation ecosystem, because it's like they work as a growth point. So and government is one of the main beneficiaries of such kind of projects. So it looks like very logical that government can support such kind of project.
Okay, and you know, in IT park, everything works. We have no any empty square meters of office premises in Kazan since May 2011. Conference hall, press center, meeting rooms are day by day occupied. All activities are attended. IT Park's business hotel is overcrowded. Data center is overloaded. You know, our business incubator receives bids from the whole Russia, dozens of bids per month. So the same things we start to see in Chelny. As I said before, we opened it only less than 2 months ago, on 25th of August 2012. So in 2010, we even couldn't expect such kind of demand, you know.
Thanks. I heard actually, the number that really impressed me when minister, the youngest federal minister, was talking to us, was that the revenue of the companies in 2011, the companies that been created in the Technopark Kazan, was about, like, I don't know, $10 million. So of all the companies that you have there, was it 1 million? Was
no,
it 10
million? Was $100 million.
$100 million. So only from the companies that been created in the IT Park Kazan. So that's a number that talks better than anything else. I don't know the numbers that been invested into creation of the Technopark.
The amount of money?
Yeah.
So we, this IT park in Nabережные Челны, it took only 1 year and 1 month to elaborate the master plan and to construct. And the cost was 1 billion ruble. 1 billion ruble.
It's 1 million ruble.
1 billion,
so it's like
ruble.
$30 million
Yep.
to develop.
So the same as the revenue of one of our large-scaled and 2 years ago small company, Bars Group, as I mentioned before.
Well, colleagues, I would like, we have few times, I'm sorry, but I would like to ask you one more question. We have a lot of startups, just the last whole. So I would like to ask, what are the channels to get startups or young companies, as Victor said, no matter, how do they get it?
They get where?
Startups.
Well, I don't know.
Where do you find it?
Well, I can only tell that out of, about 20 startups that are now outside of this lecture hall, about 4 of the startups are from Skolkovo. So you just, talking about the level of the projects that we have now, they're quite competitive. So amount of, I don't know how many applications that's been, companies that applied to participate in this forum. 4 of the companies that are represented are from Skolkovo.
Good question, thanks. Ramil, do you would like to make... Yes, sure.
Okay, we have an open contest every month. So every startup can send the bid for our website, and they have only to make a great pitch, great presentation. So small presentation, 5 pictures in Microsoft PowerPoint, and small introductory. Then we work with these bids. So about their quantity. So the last our contest, it was 120 bids from 18 Russian cities. So,
so it's real, and guys from the next call.
Some guys from Kiev, about 5 startups we want to take to Chelny.
Oh, okay, good.
So we find
news.
5 very prospective teams.
Good news. Victor, what?
We are at the planning stage, so we are considering different approaches, but what I can say for sure is that we will partner with best players on this market. So I mean that we won't create our own incubator or our own VC fund, yeah? We will just work with best players in this industry.
Thank you. We have no time, but I would like to ask you to say very short message to the audience as a summary.
As a summary, I just want to say that Skolkovo is a very transparent organization, and even though we don't have yet a lot of physical space built, everything exists in the virtual form, which is quite contemporary, I would say. So if you would like to be part of Skolkovo, you don't have to move anywhere. You can stay where you are and receive a virtual status. You just only need to apply on our website, www.skat.ru.
Victor?
Yeah. We are ready, we are open to collaboration, and I ask you to join our project as participants, as partners, as residents, so we can discuss it after the conference. Thank you.
Ramil,
See you in the Innopolis.
Thank you very much. Fantastic panel.
Thank you
very much. Okay, moving right along. Well done, well done. You look comfortable here, huh? You want to stay there for a little while?